Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I, Afsha Khan, Deputy Manager, Alumni Relations, warmly welcome you to this panel discussion organized by the City School CAPS Department. The topic of discussion is Nurturing Tomorrow's Leaders, the role of Alma Mater. Today, we have gathered here from across the City School network to explore the role of school in shaping and nurturing the leaders of tomorrow. Before we delve into the stimulating discussion, I would like to introduce my panelists who are not only accomplished alumni, but they are also dedicated teachers, educators who have made significant contributions in the field of education. First of all, I will start with Ahmed Safwan. He's from the northern region. He's currently working at Capital Campus Islamabad and serve as O-level instructor and coordinator. And he's also the graduate of the same school, same campus. Next, we have Sana Fatima. She's from the southern region. She's serving at PF Chapter Karachi as HM, headmistress. And she's also a graduate of the same school, PF Chapter, a graduate of 2005. Next, we have finally Manur Mumtaz. She's a graduate of City School Rabi campus and presently working for the Model Town campus Link Road as a teacher. We are honored to have all of you. And I also encourage, welcome, and I also encourage my audience to actively participate in this discussion by sharing your thoughts, experiences, and you can have questions with our esteemed panelists. So now, without a further delay, I would like Ahmed Safwan to begin the discussion. Please share your insights on this topic.
Thank you, Aksha, for having me. A very good afternoon to all our audience. Basically, we're talking about inculcating leadership skills and how our alma mater has basically helped us out in that regard as well. And we are continuing to help our learners out as well. What I would like to start off from is the basic confidence building skill that the city school inculcated in me was being a part of the broadcasting unit, which sent shivers down my spine when I was selected. But I believe if I was not part of that broadcasting unit, if I did not announce who was going to come up for the national anthem or the recitation, I probably would not be able to speak in this panel today. So, what I think what we are doing in the Capital Campus as well is that we are promoting our the confidence levels of our learners through the first stage, that is public speaking with their own colleagues, with their own class fellows through the broadcasting unit. We've also been doing things like flipped classroom. As a teacher, all of us have been educationists. So flipped classroom is when basically we try to hand over the key to the classroom to our learners and we take the backstage. Apart from that, I would go into more detail later, but apart from that, I believe that if we can inculcate these leadership skills at an early level, then they would have a certain edge whenever they're starting off their careers, be it in academics, be it in whatever line that they choose.
Definitely, definitely. It should be inculcated at this age. Yes, Sana, what would you like to say?
Thank you, Afsha. Good afternoon, everybody.
Yeah.
Again, taking forward what Safwan said, that I was, again, a very, very prominent member of the extracurricular in my school. But again, being very prominent with extracurricular, not being prominent with extracurricular is just one part of it. What is important is that children take out their time in school to really delve into team building, collaboration, communication, and all the set of skill sets that you need to really take in before we move into their professional careers. But again, what is the need of the time is that we need to have a community of leaders who really take the country forward. What is the need of the time is that children need to have skills that push them for innovation and creativity, because that's really the need of the time. When students, they take risks, they really know that, what will take them forward. Because, now it's a very, very, very fast, I do remember when I was studying, our teachers would say it's a very fast paced world. But really now we can see it that it's really really fast. So innovation, risk taking, and again, self reflection, self awareness are some of the very very important tools that I must say that students need to take in. And once you're in the school, this is your safe place. This is the place where you can take at that risk. So yes, I feel that these are the skills that one must take into account.
All right. Yes, Mahnur, what would you like to say?
Okay, so hi everybody, good afternoon. Thank you for having me here. I guess most of it has been said by our previous speakers. Thank you guys. That was amazing. But I just like to add up to it that yes, since we're talking about skills, then the one skill that I thought was the factor that led me to be here, or made me into a leader, was time management. And out of everything, out of confidence, out of all the things that we list down, I think managing your time is the one thing that a leader, since we're talking about leadership, a leader should know really well of. And City School has been the platform that made me learn. It basically punched time management inside of me, being a student who was into almost everything, every activity. So I guess that's what made me a leader today. And since we're talking about leadership, it's a big word, but I believe that yes, we need leaders in this era, and I still believe that there are a lot of people who still do not understand this term, and we need to make our youngsters understand what's the difference between just being a boss and being a leader. So along with all the skills, we actually need to clarify what or who a leader is. So that's my insight.
That's great. So, Sana, you've already explained us, the essential qualities or the skills that the school should inculcate, in students to
Yeah.
prepare them for the future leaders.
Yeah.
And Safwan, what would you like to say? What do you think? What are the essential skills that the school should inculcate?
I think Mahanoor touched on time management as being one of the vital skills for
Okay.
that. Apart from that, if we can also recognize other things such as other resources that need to be managed. For example, if what we do at CCI is that we usually have a Model United Nations that is led by our student leaders. The management has a very minimal role to play in that, apart from financial management. Things like that, things that they carry out during that is logistical management. They have to create public-private relationships, and that a 4 day event basically is backed up by about 2 months of good preparation. So I believe having events such as a Model UN, for, let's say, or another any other kind of debate competition or anything like that, that would basically inculcate that sense of responsibility in our students, that one if one of them is a leader and others are, let's suppose, working in their team, I have always felt that all of my other team members, they would be motivated to become a leader themselves, while at the same time they would also be aware, be conscious of the burden that leadership comes with. So I think all of these skills are all of these hard and soft skills are being uh, taught at CCI, are being taught at City School, and I think that's why we are able to constantly produce citizens that go on to lead.
Very good. Sana, reflecting on your time at the city school, what do you think? How did the city school contribute to your personal, professional, and leadership development?
Well, what I remember of my time at City School was again, I was a part of sports and extracurricular, but
Okay.
I do feel that what I remember the most about my time here is celebrating achievements, big or small. We really celebrated achievements, and I feel that that is one part of me that I have really taken forward. I feel that leading for inclusion has really helped me to shape me as a strategic leader also, because it's not about how good you are in something. It's about really celebrating others and yourself, because that's what really push you forward to take up the challenges of the world. And again, articulating the ambitions. I do feel that back in the day when we would feel that our teachers are really telling us that we need to push ourselves, but I think that really helped me to take my ambition forward. It's not really easy to take a risk and come into a field where you don't really know much about, because I do want to add that I'll be honest that in our country we don't really have a very structured program when it comes to really being a teacher, because that's where I started from. And but I do feel that looking back at my journey at the school is really what shaped me. For what I wanted to give back to my students. So again, yes, celebrating achievements, articulating ambitions, and really taking up challenges and prioritizing time are some of the things that I really picked on from my schooling time.
So, Sana, basically, you have been given the opportunity, basically.
Yes, of
School
course,
gives
of
you this
course.
opportunity, shaping your personality. And yes,
Yes,
ma'am,
yes.
what would you like to say about it?
Like Miss Sana said, very appropriate. So I think that we have a lot of schools out there who are, offering all the extracurriculars, who are trying to offer you the opportunities. But city school has, I believe that the school, the institution, and the teachers there. I think when I was a student, it was my teachers who identified it in me. And I remember that whenever there was anything that they needed students for, they would come to our class, and there was one name out of all the other names, there was one name they would always have, and they'd be like, let's get Mahno to do this. And I think that the confidence that they had in me, or the trust that they put in me, was because they knew that I could do it. So identifying the skills that the child has, I guess that's what city school does, and the faculty at city school does. A lot of
That's great.
schools out there are doing it, are giving you opportunities, but then again, there are people who don't find it in their students, and city school has never failed to do so. So I guess that's how the school has shaped me into being a leader, because it actually saw it in me before, way before I saw it in myself, and I guess my family saw it in me. So I guess that's that.
That's great. That's great. So, yeah, as alumni or educator, Ahmed, what role you think you can play in supporting and nurturing future leaders who are actually coming from your campus?
Okay, so let's talk about how the policy that we have here at City School helps us in this. I believe one of our policy statements is that we are in the business of producing lifelong learners. And another example, or three examples, is right in front of you. We're all three being produced by City School, and we're still learning. I just came back from a training myself. So what we do at our campus is that Sanal said, we set small and attainable short-term targets. Which are again a when you can account for them. And again, if when we achieve those targets, we appreciate them, we celebrate them, and that is what also helps motivate our students. One large shift that we've had over the past couple of years is when we are preparing our the university applications for our students. Usually, it used to be academics and academics alone. But we've seen that how our counselors, even people who are working with our universities, we've tried to create a well-rounded citizen now, somebody who is socially responsible, somebody who is willing to learn, and somebody who would just not sit back on accolades and think that it's enough. So I think what we're doing at CCI, what I believe the entire network is doing, is that they are creating these learners who would learn to not only celebrate their own short-term success, they would learn to celebrate their class fellows' short-term success. Here at CCI, the student body even celebrates the success of their teachers. If, for example, one of our teachers uh, has performed well at a training, we would make it a point to celebrate that with our students, and they would come up and appreciate, and even then have a discussion with the teacher regarding their training and what they learned during that. So I believe that it's a two-way street, and sometimes we as teachers, as school leaders, have to be learners, and sometimes we have to be stringent. We have to show them the way.
That's great. That's great. So, Sana, what do you think? How are you playing your role, supporting with it?
Again, I think Safan has really put this very correctly that, back in the day, I do remember that the CAPS department was not a very structured, but what I see from the past 10 years or so that the alumni and the placement department is doing a tremendous job. Again, with PF chapter also, what we see is from a very grassroots level, the children are really given the opportunity in terms of their career paths and
Exactly,
the
internship opportunities. Yeah.
yeah, the subjects that they need to choose and the university placements, and of course, it is very prominent in terms of what we see, the number of scholarships that we receive over the years. It is in millions of dollars. So yes, that is all a reflection of what the school is doing. But I do feel that the alumni, if I can talk in terms of how we
Yeah.
can take this even forward, is that maybe particular mentoring programs that once the children leave the school and they're in their undergrad or grad degrees, they can come back to the schools and maybe we can have certain sort of mentoring programs where we can tell them a particular set of skills or professional development courses that they must take once they go into their professional fields. I do feel that this is something that the children miss on once they move into their universities. Because I do remember when I did my undergrad grad or once I was doing my MBA, I was not aware of what is the need of the time, what are the licenses that I need to take, what are the professional development courses that will help me to take me forward. So again, I feel that a well-structured mentoring program is what we do seek to take ahead, and really asking the alumni to come to us, and we can help you
Exactly.
with your job placements, and we can help you regarding the what are the particular skill sets that you need to take. See, universities will give you a degree, they will give you opportunities in terms of what you need to do to fetch a job. But
Exactly.
it's not only fetching a job, you need to be beyond it, you need to be better than others, you need to really have those skills that will set you apart. So again, the school is really the nurturing ground. We can have mentoring mentors attached and then help you with all those skills that and of course, as alumni, we would be more than happy to help. Thank you.
That's great. Yes, Manur, what would you like to say?
So over here, instead of I would like to actually quote an incident. I would like to tell you something that happened. So when I went to the when I went for my interview at the city school for for, for being a teacher, I remember my headmistress, the head of my school, asked me, um, told me that teaching is not an easy job. It's not something that
Exactly.
you don't want to do anything. So and I remember my answer to her, and I said to her that I was always inspired by a few teachers I had at my school, and I aspire to be like them. So
That's
being an educator, I the role that I would like to play is that I think back on all the good things that my teachers taught me, all the good things that they used to do, and I looked up to them, and I was like, this is the thing that's changing me, that's impacting me, and also complementing the psychology degree that I have. I would like to inculcate all of that, try to inculcate
great.
all of that into my students at this very young age. I would like to be able to see their spark, to actually understand what they're capable of, instead of just putting it out there, putting the content out there. I want to be able to help them like my teachers helped me. I want to be able to provide them what my teachers in my school provided me. So being an educator, like I said before, like my headmistress said before, it's not an easy job. It's probably the most difficult job that is out
I
there,
know, I know.
and I would like to own up to it. And since I've recently started my career as a teacher, as an educator, so I still look forward to owning up to my words and being able to provide the opportunities that I talk about.
That's great. So you basically, Mahnoor is understanding the psychology of the students, since she has a background of this degree, this program. So in the last, I would like all of you to give one good advice to a young generation, what it would be. Please, Sana, Safwan, you can.
Okay. So I would advise them, continuing on what Mahanur said. I now share a class staff room with uh, teachers who were my teachers as well. And what I've learned from them is what I would advise everybody listening as well. All of my teachers who actually practically taught me, like literally taught me, are now very confident, are very okay with me teaching them. So they've continued to learn. They do not see this as an obstacle. They do not see Safan as a student anymore. They see Safan as an equal, as a colleague who is another source of learning for them. So I rebut them for the fact that I tell them that everything I know is coming from them, but they
Exactly.
are very so you never actually stop learning. It does
Exactly.
not matter if you are 30 years into a career. It does not matter if you're 50 years into a career. You never actually stop learning, and I think that is something that propels them to leadership positions and to leadership decisions as well.
I totally agree. Learning never stops. Yes, Manu.
Okay, so the advice that I would like to give out is, like Sir said, never stop. I would say the same thing, that never back down. If you want to be a leader, if you want to see yourself making a difference in someone else's life, and being able to do something, I would say never back down. There are going to be moments where your own self tells you that you cannot do this, or the world tells you that what you're doing is really either stupid or it's not appropriate, or you're never going to get anywhere doing this. Don't back down on what you have set your mind to do so. Because if you stop, regardless of what they say or what your own self says, at some point there's no going ahead. So just don't think about the fact that maybe I cannot do it, because one way or another there's going to be a path for you to take, even if it's not the best one, even if it's not filled with butterflies and flowers. It's going to be tough, but you're not supposed to back down. You're not supposed to give up on your own dreams. Whatever age you are at, just don't give up on what you aspire to be.
Yeah, I totally agree. Never give up, and self confidence is very important. One should have that. Yes, Sana Fatima.
Well, again, some really incredible answers, and just taking them forward. Again, yes, like Mahnur said, it takes a lot of courage, hard work, dedication, resilience. It is not an easy journey. I will not say again, my 17 years into the career, I started with City School, and in between, I did joined another organization. But again, 17 years, never easy. You need to push up your game. You have to be the best version of yourself, and when I say that, you need to challenge yourself, you need to educate yourself more, you need to take up professional development courses. It is never easy, it will not be easy, because there will, at all times, there will be people better than you, but again, you need to be better than them. So again, it is important to have a very, very positive attitude. Just be self-motivated, take that extra risk. Again, like Mahanur said, risk taking is okay, but you will reach there. Take one step at a time, it's all right. I mean, I do feel that every time I was hesitant to take that extra professional development course, or but I ended up doing it, and I eventually ended up doing 3 masters. So again, we do pave our path, but again, it is your journey. Make it the best for yourself and for your future generation. See, everybody will not end up being at the top position, but that top is what you make for yourself. It is not where you reach. It's really the journey itself. So yes, all the best to everybody, and just take that extra risk. Do accept the change, and don't hesitate. You will reach there.
Definitely, I agree. And I've heard somewhere slowly is the fastest route.
True, true.
Yeah, yeah. So now, giving a chance to my audience, I've been receiving questions from my audience, and this discussion is very interactive, very informative. The first question I received: how do teachers work with underconfident students? Since you're teachers, any one of you can answer.
Okay, so I'll go ahead. In a class, if I can give you an example of my own daughter, she's even though I was very much an extracurricular, she's not. But again, in the classroom also, just give them opportunities to speak once within the classroom. If they don't want to participate, just make them pair up with other students, so that they can have that confidence to speak with him or her, and then
Exactly.
eventually take that one step ahead, maybe as a part of the group, and then later on give them opportunity to be a part of a class presentation, because that's what we do. Every child cannot be a debater, they will not be, but again, they can be more confident once they speak as a part of the group. So again, providing them little opportunities, so that you build on that confidence over time. It is not a thing to be done in a day, but it can be done over a period of time. So yes, I feel those are the things that we can do.
That's
Now,
true. That's
adding
absolutely, I agree. Yes, Ahmad Safwan, would like to add something?
Yes, yes. I would like to add to what Ma'am Sana has said. I think that this is what we call something as differentiated teaching. What we do in our classrooms now basically is it works on both ends of the spectrums. We're talking about students who are more confident, and we're talking about students who are least confident. Both bands receive different kinds of assessments. They receive different kind of feedback, and this is how like Sana said, we are talking about groups, we're talking about the mentor system, we're talking about the buddy system and peer learning. So I think that is how the less confident students move up a band. They go into average, and then inshallah go into the more confident students.
Yeah, okay. So another question I'm having, can you please make it shorter? In the meantime, I'm also having another question. People are asking in today's rapidly changing, as you know, the world is changing rapidly. So what are some kind of challenges educators is facing, kind of, and how you can overcome them?
Okay, so if I may, I believe that as educators, the biggest challenge that we faced was COVID. And
Yeah.
coming out of coming out of that, when our basically we here at CCI we talk about it. Since we're in the capital, we're in Islamabad, we usually have school closures as well, because every political activity usually has to happen around our campus as well. So what we've done, we've basically set up a tagline that even if our buildings are closed, our classrooms are still open. So one of the challenges was obviously getting in touch with our students as teachers. Another challenge, obviously, is the rapidly changing, is the rapid the adverse options available to our students. Uh, that means that what I feel is, for example, untrained tutors, really bad academies. So basically, what happens is that I'm talking in context of O levels and A levels. So what happens is that our students basically go to these places, and they basically end up doing more damage than good.
I agree. Another question, again from the audience, how to make students' self-belief strong and persuading them as a strong leader rather than being a follower.
But
Anyone?
yeah, well, again, the same thing. Just give them motivation. I have seen people from my batch back in 2003 and five. They eventually reach out to their goals, and they pave their way forward. So just motivate them, and again, motivation is not only in terms of the certificates that people get, but
Okay,
motivation is in terms of what you really talk to the children about.
exactly.
Praising them, telling them that they can really do it. Again, I keep saying this, I keep telling this to my students: school is your safe place. Your O and A level are your is really your time where you can push yourself and really take that extra risk. Nobody will judge you. It's a very hard world out there. Once you get into the professional colleges and everything, you half of your friends will not be there, because everybody end up in different universities. So really take that step, take that extra risk, and again, pushing your friends, taking them along that journey, whether it's a competition, whether you're doing that extra, again, like Safwan said, tuition is really the biggest challenge and damage that we as educationists are facing right now, because it's really isolating the children from their peers, because back in the day we would really gel in with our peers and take that extra help from them. But now it's the tuition is the easy access to really taking up everything to that tuition academy. But the biggest challenge is that that is really taking our children away from what is the need of the time to really socialize. Again, the children being isolated and actually learning something that is not even correct sometimes, so is our biggest challenge. So again, self praise and really gel in with your teachers and your mentors and your friends to if there's a little bit of hesitation to do something, they'll motivate you and motivate others also. You do the same.
That's great. And we have Miss Lubna Malik from CCI campus. She's also joined us today, and she's also giving her feedback. And thank you, Miss Lubna, for joining us. And she's also asking, could you please just guide us? The students who are facing emotional and mental health issues. How do you cater them? Manhood, if you can tell us, because since you have a psychology background, so how do you deal them?
Could you please repeat the question? Your voice was
Some
breaking.
guidance to the students who are facing, emotional and mental, emotional traumas. I must say.
Okay, so yeah, so basically, I think how you deal with such students is that first you need to identify if the student is actually, facing some emotional trauma or is actually suffering from something emotional. Either it could be related to their friends, it could be related to their family. So I guess that first of all you need to highlight it, because uh, since this is something very sensitive, one, you cannot label things, and two, you have to be very careful with these students. And when I mean careful, I mean that you need to, first of all, if you identify that this child is struggling with something like that, you feel it, you sense it, you see it, then you need to have a one-on-one conversation with that child, because they're already so sensitive about their emotions being affected that if you point it out in the classroom, they would probably be way more let down than anything else. So I guess trying to connect with the student, the very important thing is that you connect with your child, because this is what I've been doing. I've had students who've shown super irrational behavior in my classroom just because they were detached emotionally from their own families, and I sensed it. I talked to their parents, and not directly, but I tried to get it out of them. And the first thing I did was emotionally connect with my child, because when you are close to your child, they would feel safe around you. So once they feel safe around you, they would naturally open up and be more confident in your classroom. And once they feel more confident in your own classroom, with their peers, with their teacher, they would somehow reflect that in their own homes as well. So I guess that's the advice that I would give you, that if you feel your child is suffering emotionally, and also as quickly as possible advise them, if they're a grown up child, like if you're teaching somebody who's in their secondary levels or if they're in OA levels, you should definitely, in a very subtle way, not directly, but in a very subtle way, you should direct them to professional help if you feel as if it's getting really out of hand, because this is not something you can handle on your own completely. You need
Exactly.
professional help as soon as you can. So these are the two things that I would do. I would connect with my child, I would listen, hear him out, hear her out, and I would very subtly direct them to professional.
So,
Just
yes.
adding, Afsha, again, just like Manur said, parental consent is also very, very important here. Again, I have seen over the years where, as teachers, we do try to talk to the children and then it backfires from the parental side. So it is the parental consent is, again, this I'm talking to the teachers from the teacher's point of view. We are not professional therapists. So we
Exactly.
cannot in any manner navigate in that field. It is important that the parental consent is taken, that the parents are taken into the loop, and then of course just the steps that Mahmood spoke about. But yes, taking parents in the loop, I just wanted to add this, that it is very, very important here.
Yeah, I think yes, yes, Emma.
Adding to what Ma'am Lubna has asked herself, I would like to portray what she does as a solution
Okay.
because I've had the opportunity to work with her for the past 10 months.
That's
So
practical.
what I like what she does is that she brings family into it. She
Okay.
basically, for example, we were recently talking about a boy who had problems learning. So she brought family into it, and she called up the father for an individual meeting, and she advised simple things such as taking your son for a walk, basically. And what happened was that we were talking about his uh, progress from the mid-year exams to the end of year exams. So it was a market improvement in that, and all we put it down to was that the father probably was giving him a little bit more attention that he was used to, and that basically motivated him and brought him back to our classrooms mentally as well.
That's great. That's great. And she's also written over here in the comment that she says every teacher should be a good listener. It is
Yes,
very important, you know. We should
yes,
listen to them, you know, listen to the students, what they're feeling, what they want to talk about, you know. This is what I think we all should do. Yes, any
definitely.
questions we have? Anything else? We have another question. How does your alma mater encourage students to take on leadership roles within the campus community or in an external organization?
I think all three of us can talk about this.
Yeah,
I
okay.
think,
I think the
I joined
strategy
the
to
city
leadership.
school I joined the city school as a teacher as well. I was promoted recently to coordinator. I had the opportunity, basically to go to be trained by Cambridge, to be trained by the International Baccalaureate organization. So I think city school as an alma mater does promote its own human resource. I believe that I'm not too sure about this. The HR department might get back to me on this, but I am pretty sure that it is our preference that we are hiring our own alumni, and by of course by training and by clearing the ground, we basically start them up from a teaching level and move them up. Ma'am Sana would probably be a much better example of that.
Well, yeah, exactly. We all are examples of that. But if I can talk about from the hiring perspective, if any alumni comes to us, we do give them an opportunity if at least they know the basic of teaching and learning. We have all learned in the field how to do teaching and learning better. But alumni is again, we do feel very very happy and proud once the alumni reach out to us, because I do feel that nobody would know our classrooms better than our students. So if you come to us,
Exactly.
yeah, I mean, we know our
That's
business
very
better than
important.
anybody else. So uh, so again, I feel that again, I started my career from the same school where I studied. So uh, it brings back memories, but it brings back a lot of responsibility, because you would want to give the best. What we have received over the years, I do say it over and over again, it's time to give back to my own community, to the students, and to the teachers with what I have learned over the years. And yes, reach out to us. We'll be happy to have you.
Yeah, me and Sana are
That
actually encouraging the TCS alumni to come back and serve for their alma
Yes.
mater.
we've
Yeah.
I would
actually
like to add
we've
something. I
actually
was
at CCI,
what was
we've
said.
actually started off another initiative in which we're connecting with alumni. It's probably going
Very
to be
good.
on the page pretty soon as well. It's called the Save Blue and Live Green initiative, and
Wow.
through that we're connecting with alumni all over the world, people working in the World Health Organization. We recently had a MAU signed by with the Ministry of Health as well. So through these different initiatives, it's going to be a year long and a network wide, I hope,
That's
initiative,
great.
Wow.
and we would like to get in touch with Alumni with that as well.
So soon we will be able to make a strong network.
Hopefully,
So
hopefully.
the last question I'm having, this is going to be the last thing. I think we have already discussed what strategies or programs are in place to promote inclusivity and diversity in leadership development.
Oh, do you want me to go first?
Yeah, yeah, please.
Okay, so inclusivity is a very, very broad term, and I think that in the training department at our regional office at least, we basically are encouraging all different kinds of teachers to be uh, trained to a certain level. I think it's called the postgraduate certificate course, and every new inductee has to go through that. I visited the campus today; it was in full flow again. Uh, that basically helps to iron out any kinks. Basically, that means that all of our teaching practices are in line with the company policy, are in line with the demands of today, with the demands of Cambridge, for example. I think that that is the largest evidence of inclusivity that the company can provide. That they basically, even if you're hired a month before summer vacations, you still have to attend that course.
That's great. That's great. Yes,
Safan, just taking that forward, again, PGCC, everybody does. So if, just like I said, even if you know a little bit of teaching and learning, we will own that skill over that period of 7 to 8 weeks of teaching and learning, where the school leaders will and the training department will teach you the strategies and the pedagogies that will take you or make you better in teaching and learning. Apart from that, we do have professional development courses that are assigned by Cambridge. So yes, we are offering teaching and learning, which is certificate in teaching and learning, and we are offering certificate in digital technologies. And again, very recently, I'm sure it is happening in the southern region, northern and the central region, PGCEI, which is an international qualification. I recently completed it. It's a little difficult course, but it is on a master's level. It is being offered by the Canterbury Christchurch University. So again, all these courses are offered to everybody, all the school leaders, all the teachers. So again, everybody is included. So you just need to really take it. I mean, take that additional professional qualification, because if you intend to stay in this field, you need to understand the teaching pedagogies. That is what will make teaching and learning better in the classroom.
Yeah, I also believe that professional development is very important in this competitive environment, in this competitive world. So, with all, if we don't have any questions, okay, then thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. Thank you, Elman Safwan, Sana Fatima, Iman,
Thank you.
all of the people who have joined us and shared their comments with us. Thank you so much, everyone.
It was a
And
pleasure. Thank you.
yeah,
Thank
it
you.
was
Pleasure,
such
ma'am.
an yeah, it was such an informative session. We're looking forward to more such sessions.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so
Thank
much,
you so much.
everyone.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Afshan.
good.
Thank you to the
Thank
rest of the
you.
evening.
Have a good day. Allah Hafiz.
Have a good day. Allah Hafiz.
Hafiz.